Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be taking the transmission cooler from my 97 Ford F-350 and be replacing it with a Ford 6.0 transmission cooler. These are a lot bigger, it's a huge upgrade. Follow along and you'll see how I do it. I got a few lines. I got a 1/2-inch adapter because the 6.0 oil cooler has 1/2-inch lines. Got about 12 feet of transmission cooler lines to replace all that. But the main thing I want to show y'all is this sort of adapter that I've made, because I'm going to need to convert essentially the 1/2-inch line from the 6.0 oil cooler to the 5/16 that my 97 Ford has. So what I've done was I actually got a couple of brass fittings that these are actually used, I believe, for airlines, but it's pretty simple. I got these parts all at Napa. I got the 5/16 hose inner diameter barb and the 1/2-inch hose inner diameter barb, and I also got this sort of a coupler as well. I don't know if you can see the part number or anything on that, but that's what you need, and this should hopefully work out well. I've got some sealant as well that I can put on here just to make sure it doesn't leak, so we'll see how all that works. Check it out. This is a oil cooler off of a 6.0 powerstroke. Once it is probably like an 04 or 05 model. I only spent like $36 on this and some interior parts, so it's really cheap. You could buy these new, but I mean this one should be in pretty darn good shape. It's got a couple of nicks and dings here, but for the price it should be good. But my idea is I've heard that some people actually jam it in between the radiator and the AC condenser. I can kind of see there's a little bit of space right in between here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'm going to try that out and see how it'll all go. Okay, now I'm going in and I'm loosening up these bolts that hold on the radiator bracket. There's one right here. Kind of hard to see. And there's another one. It's just right a bit lower down, right below it. I'll pull that out, and there's another couple of them on the other side. Got one right here and one a little bit lower down as well. I'm going to be able to scoot this whole radiator assembly back, and then we'll have space to slide the cooler in between that. Now, one of the techniques that I've actually done right now is I put a little bit of grease on the end of these bolts. It kind of helps lubricate everything and gets it all easier to take out without actually stripping out the threads. Alright, to put more space, I'm pulling off this cover, or this holder, where that upper battery cable goes. Pulling out these little clip connectors, and they're actually not that hard to pull out. There's a little center part here. Just grab a pair of pliers, pop it out, and then you can just take a regular old screwdriver, flat-bed screwdriver, and pry out the rest of the thing. And then just put it back together, and it's good to go. The next part of this challenge is there's these little, I think they're called J-clips or something like that. But these are basically little sheet metal bolts that are used to hold everything in. They're kind of a pain to get off. There's one right here, and basically from my understanding you have to take these and you flip them around. The best way I've found is you actually just bend them to get them out. So I'm just taking my screwdriver up here, going in behind it, just bending the heck out of it up so it's got enough clearance to move. Finally, got it out. Okay, on the oil cooler itself, there's these little tabs. I'm taking these and I'm actually bending them flat. They're pretty easy, really soft metal. I'm doing that so that whenever I jam it behind my radiator, this hopefully doesn't mess it up. I don't really want to mess up the good radiator that I had just put in not too long ago. Okay. Well, so that was actually a lot simpler than I thought. The cooler, you can see, kind of fits into these holes right here. Places where I pulled out those clips from the very bottom, you can see that's the aftermarket 6.0 cooler, and this is just the radiator bracket. And on the other side, looks like it'll line up just fine. All I gotta do now, though, is I gotta put those clips in, and then hopefully I can screw the bolt in, and that'll be all secured. Alright, to take a little bit of grease, it's always good to, I always like putting this on bolts It's almost like an anti-seize, really. It's like they designed it this way. Okay, so it does look like, you know, one of the warnings was that it would hit the radiator. Looks like I'm getting some of that, so I'm going to have to bend the whole thing a little bit. So if you, let me show you real quick what's going on. Okay, so we look from the upper side here. You can kind of see that unfortunately I think we're making contact between the cooler itself and radiator. That will especially be the case whenever we bolt the rest of the radiator back up. So that'll be a problem to address. The barb is pretty much almost touching. Well, it actually is touching. Well, I don't like that it's pretty much resting on the radiator, but might be what we got. Well, I think it's just kind of settling. I don't think that cooler is going to mess anything up because it can't move in any direction really. No, that might be rendered pretty much installed. 12 inches of hose here. Just going to cut it in half. Hopefully not cut my leg in half too. That'd really suck. Probably should use a pair of scissors. Those usually work better. In fact, I might have a pair of scissors now I think about it. Lucky's uncle. I do have a pair of scissors. Doubt whether this is doing it any better or not. Got that hooked on there. Just slide a hose clamp on. If you put a little bit of grease inside of these hoses, they'll go together a lot better. That should do it. Alright, now for the next fun part. Let's get rid of the old transmission cooler. There's no going back now, really. I don't think these transmission lines have ever been replaced. Ow. Oh, this hurts. Right about there should be good. Let's cut. That line's on. Well guys, I finally went ahead and I got all these lines. I got the grill put back together. You can see my lines right underneath here. Underneath the grill. All the adapters seem to be working well. Now of course, whenever you put this all together, you're going to want to make sure that you start it up and test for any leaks or anything like that. Now one thing you got to make sure you do as well is make sure that you check your transmission fluid level. And you're actually probably going to add about a quart or something like that. Or around there. Because keep in mind that you're basically increasing the capacity of the cooling system, going from the small cooler to the big one. So make sure you add that so you have plenty of fluid. But that pretty much does it for this install. It's actually pretty easy. And now that I have replaced all my lines as well, it doesn't have any leaks, thank goodness. But I'm definitely going to make sure to keep an eye on this. Don't want this truck to be leaking transmission fluid anytime soon. But in the meantime, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. And if you like the video, click the like button. You have a good one. Thanks. Or should I say bolts?